Again, welcome. We have many who joined, so we'll be starting shortly, just a couple of more minutes. It is 12:15, so we give just 1 or 2 more minutes for the rest who's still remaining and trying to connect. Just 1 or 2 more minutes and we'll start. Okay, welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us to this new CACEIS talk series dedicated to our common offer, ALTO CACEIS. It is my pleasure to share the floor with my friend Joseph Al-Garib. He's the Director of Amundi Services. Well, you can ask your questions anytime. To do so, please open the Q&A panel on your screen and type your questions. We will respond to as many of them as possible at the end of the presentation. Well, the year end is around the corner. Many are probably saying, finally. 2020 was certainly different for most of us, and we can safely say we were not prepared for it. It did push us out of our comfort zone. I'm not only talking about the lockdown as such, which is an interesting experience by itself, but rather about the challenges we faced to keep the business and operations moving forward. At CACEIS, like for most of you, we had to kind of reinvent ourselves in real time. We did it by adapting our processes, our ways of working, our operational and relationship models. And since we are actually operating as an extension of your organization, well, it is our duty to accompany you and deliver our services in the best possible way during these uncertain times. Well, on your side, you also had to adapt. You had to adapt your investment strategies. You had to adapt your approach to liquidity management. And probably you had to strengthen your operational teams to ensure business continuity. Well, it is clear that we are entering into an extended period where digital, environmental, and sanitary issues will continue to put pressure on most businesses. My feeling anyway is we probably need to get used to a certain level of uncertainty, more than what was in the past. And this could possibly become the new normal. During our last week CACEIS Talks series, we discussed the importance of good governance for funds in uncertain times. The survey showed that governance is definitely key to face the unexpected and the higher level of uncertainties. Well, in today's webinar, our aim is to explore, in addition to having a strong governance, on how you could be equipped with an operational setup that could help make your business more resilient and more agile. Well, there is no doubt that the asset management sector is facing a multitude of challenges. Your profitability is significantly impacted due to increasing pressure to reduce your fees and that in a very low rates environment. It is forcing you to seek new revenue streams by getting access, for example, to new markets or expanding to new products. You are also seeking to reduce your cost base or at least avoid increases of your operational charges to face more regulations, more reporting, more uncertainties, which are probably stretching the limits of your operational teams and IT platforms. Well, in this challenging environment, you also need to make more investments in digitization and innovation in order to provide more transparency, more data access to your investors, and in order to improve the overall client experience. You have to do all that simply to remain competitive and to survive in this new world. It kind of reminds me my days at the airline industry, where you always have to deliver the best service, best flight schedules, latest equipment, and most comfortable planes at the cheapest fare that the competition offers to travelers. Well, I think the search for a premium in the asset management sector has become increasingly difficult. Well, having set the scene, the question is, where do we go from here? It is always interesting to convert a big challenge like what we have now into a big opportunity. So we believe there may be an opportunity here, an opportunity to transform your operational model. I appreciate the fact that the decision is not straightforward. From my viewpoint, there are two important questions to be addressed in your decision process on whether you should consider outsourcing more of your operations or not. The first question is, what are the key differentiators for your business from the competition? And the second one, are you really focusing your valuable resources to your core business, your real core business, and not what's operationally critical? If your core business and your real differentiators lie in your investment strategies, in the flexibility to access new markets and develop new products, then a transformational solution may probably be for you to consider seriously. In contrary, if you have already invested heavily in your operational chain and IT platforms and you plan to continue to invest, and you aim at leveraging those investments to differentiate you and possibly sharing them with other industry players, then the transformational offer we're going to talk about today may not make sense for you. Our value proposition will bring you possibly many benefits, while getting you free from being entangled or slowed down by your aging platforms, enabling you to focus on your human capabilities so they are focusing really on your core activities, and transforming your CapEx into OpEx and so on. Well, finally, I don't want to spend too much time. I want to leave my friend go discuss. But at CACEIS, we aim to assist you in your business journey. But we cannot always do it alone. So we seek the best partnerships to deliver the maximum value. Well, it is the case for our partnership to produce ESG reporting for you, and our partnership we did recently with Santander to expand our global custody network to Spain, Latin America, and few others. Well, today the solution we are presenting is made possible out of our partnership with our sister company, combining Amundi Services' comprehensive platform to CACEIS' full range of solutions. By combining ALTO technologies to CACEIS services, you get a complete front-to-back solution, already up and running, fully integrated, and of course, complying with all regulation. So now to deep dive into our combined offer in more details, I will give the floor to Joseph, my friend. Thank you, and don't forget to send your questions from the Q&A panel. Joseph, the floor is yours.
Thanks a lot, Joe, and thank you for hosting me for this webinar. I'm really pleased to have this conversation with you all. So to follow on this operating model transformation, in fact, what you have on this slide is a kind of a schematic model, I would say, of what are the existing operating models in the asset management industry. in a nutshell, I would say you have on the left-hand side people who have invested heavily in technology and operations. This is the case for Amundi, and this is the Amundi model, because since 20 years we are investing on the platform and operations to be up to the market, I would say. You have on the right-hand side the fully front-to-back solution with the technology and services. This is where we believe, in fact, that the market is going, and hopefully we can show it also plenty during this webinar. And you have the solution in the middle, or the model in the middle, which is companies who have invested, I would say, in best-of-breed technologies, combining internal and external softwares. And this is becoming, I would say, more and more difficult to maintain and to keep up to the market. From a cost perspective, the models, I would say the IT costs, as we from our surveys, show that the average industry IT costs are between 2 and 3 basis points out of total AUMs, while, and we are proud of, I would say, Amundi Asset Management IT cost is around 1 basis point. And with this outsourcing model that we are proposing, in fact, with CACEIS, we have the promise to bring costs down and to share the gains, I would say, between you and us. On the next slide, I'm going to deep dive, I would say, on the solution that we are offering with CACEIS. So in a nutshell, this is a combination, I would say, of our technology and the operations. So you have the best of breed, I would say, of what Amundi is offering in terms of technology, and the best of breed what CACEIS is offering as operational services. And the combination, of course, is highly industrial, because, as you know, we are working together as a sister company since many years. So we industrialized all the straight-through processing between the two companies. And this is what we are putting at the profit of clients now in terms of integration of services. So the first, I would say, block is around ALTO. So we are offering ALTO, our technology for portfolio management system. This is delivered out of by Amundi. The dealing services, and I will detail a little bit more about the service model later in the following slides. The dealing services is a combination of best in class between what CACEIS is offering and our dealing desk, and I will expand a little more on this later. We have the third service is the middle office solution that is delivered from CACEIS on ALTO, as you will see lately in the following presentation, and custody and fund administration, which is, I would say, the usual services that you are already contracting or maybe already contracting with CACEIS. What is important is that these services are fully integrated, of course, fully STP, with a large coverage of different asset classes, and with a front to back and the back to front operating model. And I'm going to expand on this a little bit later. On the next slide is I'm showing I would say in a more detailed way the distribution of services on various levels. So the key word for around this is flexibility. So we are offering a flexible and yet industrial operating model between the various level of services. So you may or may not know, but I think most of you know the usual services that CACEIS is offering around custody and fund admin. So this is the basic, I would say, level of services. And then on top of this, you add extra services that I'm going to detail. First, I would say as a first bunch of service is the data services combined with the ALTO technology. So this is a bundle that can be offered on top of the fund admin and custody that would give you ALTO in a software as a service mode combined with data that is offered to run, I would say, the platform. And then on top of this, you will add extra services like the dealing desk activity, the middle office, and the reporting. So it's up to the client choice, I would say, to go for the level of service depending on how the client would like to shape his operating model. On the next slide, I'm speaking about ALTO. So ALTO is a platform that is at the same time, I would say, quite new and quite, I would say, confirmed in the asset management industry. This is the story, in fact, of the various mergers, in fact, in Amundi. At each time, we constantly invested on the platform to enrich the platform, lately with the integration of Pioneer Investment, which brought, I would say, a large scope of assets and geographies, and lately also with the integration of Sabadell Asset Management. So the platform is covering front office, fully from order management to all that is related to decision-making tools, I would say, for the front office, compliance and risk, including all that is related with pre-trade and post-trade compliance, performance and analysis, middle office, whether the middle office is operated by Cassies, which is the case, in fact, in the offering that we are showing today, or the middle office can be also operated by the client, depending on the solution that they would that is chosen. Reporting. So we have a very rich reporting solution with full integration with front office data, front and back office data, to produce the fact sheets. And an important aspect, in fact, of this solution is the support of more than 40 languages, I would say, for any distribution needs around the world. And the data management, of course, as I introduced it, this is the data management. It is for all reference data that is operated as a service to run the rest of the platform. So the platform is totally open source and open architecture. It is API enabled, in fact, to allow the client to access to the data in an easy way. And for this, we developed what we called Open Asset Management Language. This is a language, I would say, a standard that we are pushing on the market. So the first subscriber is Cassies, because they are using now Open Asset Management Language as a mean to communicate, in fact, with the platform. And we are expanding it as a standard, I would say, on the and all that is related with the, I would say, the innovation on the platform is embedded, I would say, in what the client would acquire at day zero, I would say, on the platform. So you understood this is a turnkey solution that is maintained, I would say, for now and for the future. I would like to add one last point on this slide, which gives you, I would say, the breadth of the solution. So ALTO is running today in more than 40 locations and countries, okay? And ALTO is combining all types of strategies, including private equity and real assets. On the next slides, I'm going to expand on the various levels of services that we have in this offering. So first is the dealing desk activity. For the dealing services, we are speaking about outsourcing of a dealing desk based on what we call agent model, okay? So we are operating, I would say, as a man in the middle between the investment manager or the asset owner, and the market, the street, globally speaking. The offer covers, I would say, a comprehensive list of services as of today, from order capture to best selection and best execution, and to reporting. What is important to have in mind is that we have a wide coverage of asset classes that we shared, I would say, with the best of breed fashion with Cassies. So some of the asset classes are executed by our dealing desk, and some others are executed directly by Cassies. Another aspect is important is the operating model of our dealing desk. The dealing desk is built on a global operating model spanning from Asia to Americas. So with a full concept of follow the sun operating model and pass the book between one location and the other. So to make sure we have the full coverage, I would say, of the time zones. The last point I want to stress on this slide is the how industrial is the trading desk. So I would say humbly, we are the largest European buy-side dealing desk activity in Europe, with 2.2 million trades executed per year and more than 4 trillion euros of turnover. On the next slide, I'm going to expand on the middle office activity. So what is key, in fact, in the middle office? I'm not going to introduce the middle office to you all. What is important, in fact, is to and what has changed, I would say, since with this offer, is that the middle office for the clients of this front to back offer is operated on ALTO. It is operated on ALTO via, I would say, direct access of Cassies middle office to ALTO. So what is it? What are the services covering? Trade management and trade processing, globally speaking, all that is related to the post-trade management, position keeping, corporate actions management, and collateral management. The key, in fact, in this solution is the IBOR maintenance, the investment book of record maintenance for the middle office. So we, as I said, it's important that the investment book of record maintenance, and for which makes, I would say, this IBOR available immediately. It is maintained, I would say, depending on the flow of the operations, of course, with the trades, executed trades, etc., and corporate actions, cash management, etc. It's maintained by the middle office and immediately available to the front office. So in this model, we are taking out all type of reconciliations between middle office and front office. This is the same position that is that the middle office is working on, and the front office is basing his decisions on this investment. I'm going back to the middle office activity. So as I was saying, what is new in this offer is that the Cassies middle office is operating directly on ALTO to maintain the investment book of records, speaking about all the operations flow, whether speaking about trade or post-trade management, relating to settlement, to position keeping, to corporate actions, collateral, or other cash management operations. So what is important, in fact, is that when the middle office is maintaining this investment book of records, this is the same position that is available to the front office, and on which the front office would base, I would say, the decision making So in this model, we are taking out all type of reconciliations between the middle office and the front office. The same position is operated on the two levels. Maybe you can pass to the next slide, because I expanded 2 times now on the middle office, Mathieu. Okay, thank you. So on the custody and fund admin, so I'm not going to expand a lot. I would say these are the usual services that are operated by Cassies for the clients. What is important, in fact, to say is that with this solution, we benefit from years and years of integration, I would say, that is done between the middle office, ALTO, and our technologies, in fact, with the back office technologies. So so we have worked a lot, I would say, lately on all front to back and back to front model. The back to front model is important for any consolidation, I would say, of assets that are required on the middle office level. In a way, I would say, to take out all the complexity, I would say, for clients who would subscribe the service to the middle office, fund admin and custody at the same, under the same responsibility. What you have to have in mind in this solution is that it would reduce considerably, I would say, the operational risk, because of the efficiency of the flows between ALTO and Cassies services, and of course it would increase significantly the efficiency and the costs of running this platform. I'm going to hand it over to you, Joe.
Okay. Listen, I think it had to be exciting, so otherwise that's why WebEx decided to make it more fun for us, to more challenging. So we apologize for a little bit of inconvenience here. But anyway, Mathieu, if you can flip to the next slide. I'm not going to spend much time, because we want to leave some time for Q&A. Actually, the spirit we want to do this, if we do it together with you, is the spirit of partnership. Hopefully, you will have a credible partner, whether it's Amundi Services or Caceis. But what's important, the key elements here, there are, I would say, 2-3 points. The first one is we want to listen to your constraints, to your business model, and we want to offer flexibility so we could be adapted to your business model. This is something very important, because the standard is really to say that's the way we operate to fit into our operational model. But here what we are stressing on, and that's what Joseph said earlier, is really about the flexibility. The flexibility and the adaptability of our platform to your business needs and to your operational setup. So that's to keep in mind. And of course, we want to do all this in such a way to be operationally efficient and financially efficient for you. At the end of the day, it has to be financially very efficient for you as well. So that's in a nutshell on this slide. I would on this note, I would rather turn it over to the question and answer session, so we can exchange a little bit with you and have it a little bit dynamic. We have a question coming from Islam. What about the time to market of this new platform? Well, I can give you the classic. Obviously, we have extensive experience in onboarding new funds and new clients, but the typical time is between 6 to 12 months to do it in a proper way. Obviously, this is something we have to do in lots of diligence, making sure we have as less as possible any impact on your daily operation. So it has to be the most transparent, the most smooth possible. But I guess the typical time frame would be from 6 to 12 months. Any other questions? I'm trying to see what's here on the list of questions. I think, Joseph, I have a questions for you about what are the competitive advantage? I mean, what's different? I don't want to name the competition, but what makes the ALTO CACEIS solution different from the others available in the market? So I will turn it over to you, Joseph, to respond to this one.
Yes, sure. Yes, I will try to keep it, I would say, short, and I would summarize my answer around 3 pillars. The first, and I want to insist, even though that Joe have spoken about it lately, we have a flexible and yet industrial offer based on a consultative approach for supporting our clients' operating model transformation. So it's important, this dialogue, I would say, that we will have, and we are having, in fact, with our clients. So I would say no one size fits all, and no ever-ending customization leading to complex and fuzzy integrations. The second part of my answer is that we are delivering a combination of technology and services adapted to clients' requirements. So this is about first-class technology built by asset managers to the use of asset managers, and a portfolio of operational services that complete the breadth of the solution. And third point of my answer is that we foster open technology and architecture. And this is, we are implementing it, I would say, day in and day out, including lately, for instance, the openness to some decision-making tools, risk and performance. And for this, we built also key industrial partnerships to bring, I would say, the best of breed to for the solution. So our ambition is to position ALTO as the European leading solution for offering best-in-class software and services for the asset management industry.
Well, Joseph, I have another question, which I think it's on the mind of lots of people, but I'm happy Jean-Marc asked the question. How do you ensure data segregation between Amundi funds and other clients' funds? This is a critical item, and if nobody had asked it, I would have asked it myself, because I think it's probably on the back of everybody's put on this Chinese wall that we call.
Yes, thank you for this question, and naturally I would have stressed it, in fact, and so as you know, it's about outsourcing of essential services for our clients. So this question of confidentiality is key for us, and it is taken at the highest level of importance. What I can say, I would say, as a statement, is that we have a total Chinese wall for IT and operations. So, for instance, for the client data, our model is based on logical segregation with a strong, proven, and regularly audited access rights management system, relying on a banking regulated infrastructure. For the operations, the segregation is realized by appointing dedicated middle officers by portfolio, whether the middle office is operated by Cassies or by Amundi. The information security, globally speaking, is part of our all our reports, including our certification reports, like for ISO 3402 reports realized by independent auditors. And we are now working on a possible extension to offer dedicated information security certifications. As an essential service, our processes and technology are audited on a yearly basis, naturally, by a selection of our clients. So the latest I have in my mind are some US clients, a top tier US bank, an Irish asset management, and of course multiple French clients. So this is part, I would say, of the service to give the clients the right to audit and an on-site audit of the solution. I
have another questions coming from Philippe. It's for both of us, I guess, Joseph. The first one, is this only for CACEIS clients? And that's no, it's not. I mean, it is for CACEIS clients, of course, to upgrade and to have a full front-to-back solution. But other than CACEIS clients, if others would like to take the ALTO solution and connect it to their setup, it's also, of course, possible. So it is open and flexible. It's modular. The second question is second part of the question from Philippe is for you, Joseph, is who are the clients of this solution?
Yes. So Amundi Services has today more than 50 clients, and that are different from Amundi and its joint ventures. And we have, as of today, new signatures coming in every quarter. So beyond France, we recently expand this year the ALTO client base to Ireland, to Switzerland, to Spain, to Austria, and to the US. So, and besides all this, we are expanding ALTO platform to China, because you may or may not know, we have a joint venture with Bank of China now, and ALTO is being adapted and deployed for the Chinese market. And of course, another perspective for the business development in Asia. The first operations on this platform would go live in 2 weeks' time now. So as a front-to-back integrated solution, what I can say is that we have already clients live since the last quarter, and we have other clients that are in the course of onboarding, and that will go live in Q1 2021. So just to finish, on our clients are tier 2 and tier 3 asset managers that are our natural target, I would say. We have longer processes that are engaged with top tier asset and tier 1 asset managers. And besides, we have the intention to extend to asset owners, especially relying on the new modules like ALTO Insurance.
We have so many questions. Unfortunately, we are going to be running out of time. Another question. Well, I will answer the easy one. One of the questions is, will you send us the presentation? I think we'll have the link. Will allow you to have the access to the presentation on the next slide. So yes, you have access to the presentation. The other question was, in a 6 to 12 months, what do you need to do? Is this a lot of IT development? I will try to answer this quickly, so I'll leave. Well, it's not an IT project, the onboarding. It will be totally putting the right connectivity and the right parameters. We're not doing, the system is flexible enough to allow to adapt to your requirements and your needs. So I would say in a vast majority of cases, it's not an IT development project. It's more parameterization and connectivity for the onboarding. The question is, I have a question here for you, Joseph. How do we access the data layer for this solution, APIs, etc.? So can you quickly maybe respond?
So yes, I touched very quickly on this in the presentation. So we have developed a standard to access the data. So all the data is accessed via APIs, external that are exported, I would say, to external clients. So they can choose, I would say, to use these APIs, copy the data and do their own reporting, in fact, on their side, or they can use our facilities, I would say, in terms of reporting, if they would like to do so. So all type of data, I would say, of course, the data is yours, and it is accessible, fully accessible via API using the open asset management language.
Another question is there a minimum size that we accept, we accept? Joseph, it's to you.
No minimum size. We have now clients that are going from 1 billion euros to 100 billion euros. So this is a big range, I would say, of AUMs. So no minimum size.
Question I would answer, does CACEIS, will CACEIS operate the middle office? Yes, we will. Do we operate the middle office of Amundi? No, we don't. It's operated by Amundi. We do certain things, but we don't do all the middle office for Amundi. To answer that question, is it ESG pre-trade compliance? Joseph, maybe for you.
It's a key question. So ESG is a large development area, in fact, in Amundi, as you may know. The answer to this question is yes, because this is and we delivered, in fact, this year to our first US client our module called ALTO Aspect Overview, to have to make their funds compliant with FEBELFIN, which is the label, a very known label, in fact, in Belgium.
Another question for you. It's coming from Michelle. How does this offering compete with the partnership that CACEIS already has with Simcorp for front-to-back solution? I will take this one. What we are doing with Simcorp is really focused on pension fund in the Netherlands. It has a specific needs and specific requirements for the Netherlands market. So it's not for all of our clients as we are presenting here with Amundi Services. How does this platform addresses the interoperability with clients component?
So yes, for decision-making tools, I mean, there are multiple touch points, I would say, of the platform with the client tools. For instance, the product reference data. So this was data for the product. We had another client for the quantitative analysis strategy that we interfaced, I would say, the front office with the quantitative tool to integrate the data and the execution of the operations to our. And the last point is the delivery, I would say, of the data via the APIs to the client environment. So if the client would have a data warehouse or whatever, they can use the API infrastructure to extract the data and run it on their side.
I will take a few more questions. There are so many. It's for you, Joseph.
Yes,
is the 1 BP IT cost a promise for a new asset manager, or other factors should be taken into account?
There is a key factor is that ensuring the future, I would say, hopefully, and I'm sorry if the message, if part of the message was around costs. I would say what our clients are expecting is to ensure the future in terms of expanding to new markets, expanding to new asset classes, etc. So I would say this is the most important, is how to make the future easy, I would say, with the platform. And this is really the case. I can see, I would say, some of our clients, they decide in the space of days and weeks to expand to a new asset class. We are ready to support them, I would say, in a very short time to open new business.
Okay, I just maybe two more. What are the typical fees charged for these services? I think, obviously money is important. So.
Yeah, money is always important. Yes, I would say money is important. So I want to expand on custody and fund admin. I mean, this should be well known by the audience. For other services, the pricing model is a variable price with annual fees, subscription fees. Okay, so on Alto, the pricing is based on a combination of AUM, number of portfolios, and number of users. On the middle office, the pricing is based on the number of operations and the portfolios and the number of portfolios. And on the dealing services, the pricing is based on the yearly turnover for the various asset classes that are operated and executed with us.
Could you expand on the point, Joseph, you made on open exchange language for asset management? How does it work between Alto and CACEIS?
So, for instance, all that is related to in portfolios, etc. Instead of using, I would say, standard files, etc. We are using for our communication with CACEIS when we don't have pseudo Swift, I would say. We are using now the open asset management language for other communications. So inventories and other types of reports that circulate between Alto platform and CACEIS.
One last one. In a world of declining returns, how this platform will help customers reduce OPEX? Thinking especially of dealing costs.
Yes. For the dealing cost, in fact, we have noticed, I would say, and it's not a promise because I cannot make the promise, that we can cut the dealing cost by almost a half. So it's based on, I would say, the liquidity that we have on the market, based on lower investment that the client would need to make for market access, on the technology, and of course on having his own traders, I would say, mobilized on the platform. So
thank you, Joseph. Yeah, I think, for the interest of everyone, on the screen you can see that the people to contact. I know there are so many questions about how we can help consulting and setting up the solution, and many more interesting questions. Unfortunately, we don't have all the time for it, but please contact us. So whether the persons on the Amundi or CACEIS, it doesn't matter. On both sides, and we can set up a specific session with you to go in details into your requirements, your questions, and give you the time you deserve to have all the appropriate answer for this. Thank you again for joining us into this. You were so many joining us, and hope to see you soon on other interesting matters, other webinars. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.